Hello, I'm FM and welcome to my channel, and this is just a little experiment where I'm going to take Sam Allardyce, I'm going to put him at Everton at the start of the season and see if he can do a better job than Koeman and Unsworth, because they've brought him in as his saviour. He's done it before, done it with West Ham, Sunderland, Crystal Palace. He's good at it. He's good at working with what he's got and turning him into a decent side and keeping him in the Premier League. Can he do that with Everton? I don't know. One of my best friends is an Everton fan. Some of my family are Everton fans and they think this squad is one of the worst they've had. They spent a lot of money, but it's just so unbalanced. They've got a right back who's injured, they've got other players injured, just lacking up top. None of them are happy with it. So it's going to be really tough for Sam Allardyce to do anything. So if he was there at the start of the season, could he do a good job? Now what I'm going to do is, to make it a bit fairer, is I've put Everton under a transfer ban until January. So the squad he's got at the start of the season is this squad. He can't add any players himself yet, because that wouldn't be realistic. I want to see with the squad that Koeman had, can Sam do a better job, basically. And then when it comes to January, he will have time to spend in real life. He'll have money to spend and he'll be able to buy some players in real life, so it kind of evens itself out. So hopefully he'll be able to buy someone himself in the game and it'll make it a bit more realistic, hopefully. Now, will he do well? Will he crash and burn? I'm going to run this experiment a couple of times to get a fair idea of his skills, and hopefully it won't just be like a one-off kind of thing. So let's get into it. Right, here we are. It's the 26th of June 2017 and this is the Everton club page. Now you'll see I put them, they're rich because they are rich now, aren't they? They've got quite a few quid. I think when you start the game they have about 20 million to spend, but I wanted it to be the squad Koeman had at the start of the season, so I'll put them under a transfer ban. You'll see there until the January transfer window. Captains Jagielka, vice captain Leighton Baines. We've got Gylfi Sigurdsson as their best player, and hot prospect is Tom Davies. He's quality this year on this game. But the main man, Big Sam Allardyce. Here he is. At the start of this game, he's retired. I think I had to go on the editor and unretire him. But his stats, what his stats are, they're still decent. Man management, motivating, mental, tactical coaching. He's a good manager. He's 62 years old. Surprised me that he did retire. I always imagined he'd go into his 70s. Here we are with his history, and obviously he's just become Everton manager, but he had a short stint at Crystal Palace, kept them in the league. He had a very short stint as England manager, which was a big joke. I'll be honest, I liked him. I like him as a manager, I like him as a person. I know people slag off his style, but he's a good manager and he does the job. And I'd rather have him as England manager than bloody Gareth Southgate. What's Gareth Southgate done? I think he kept Middlesbrough in the Premier League 1 year and then got relegated, maybe, I think it was. That's it. Gareth Southgate should not be England manager. Puts me off watching him. He was Sunderland manager, been West Ham manager, Blackburn manager, Newcastle manager. They didn't like him there, did they? Obviously Bolton manager, he did a freaking amazing job with Bolton. Look at this, he's done a lot, hasn't he? Great manager. And I'm hoping he does alright here at Everton. I think he will in real life, but you never know what's going to happen in Football Manager, do you? So like me friend James, he told me, also some of my cousins who are Scousers, they're not happy with the squad at the minute, but James actually plays Football Manager and he says it's making him hate Everton because it's such a struggle. And I can see what he means when I look into it myself. You've got Coleman here, who's out for 4 months, right? McCarthy, he's out for 3 months potentially. Ross Barkley's injured. Don't think he's out for that long, but he's injured. Yannick Bolasy's got a big injury, 7 months, right? The defence is getting old, even though they've got Keane, they've got Holgate, but you've also got, Williams is getting on a bit, Jagielka's getting on a bit. You've got a lot of midfield centrals, nothing really on the wing, and your strike force. I mean, this Sandro guy, he's decent, but he's decent. I mean, he had a good year at Malaga last year after leaving Barcelona. You've got this fella who I don't even think he's that good, I'll be honest with you. Not for Premier League, if you want to do well in the top half anyway. And then they've got this fella, this young kid, who's alright, but he's never going to win you the Premier League with that up front, are you? So I can see what they mean, and with only 20 million to spend at the start of the game, you're going to struggle. Wayne Rooney, forget Wayne Rooney, I'm a Man United fan. Look at this. I know he scored a hat-trick in real life the other day before I filmed this, but nah, he's past it, man. So it is going to be a struggle, but this is what Big Sam's good at, isn't he? Working with the team, with what he's got. Can he mould this team? I'm going to run it maybe 3 times and we'll have a look at what's what. Here we are, we've jumped forward a year. It's the 26th of June 2018, and straight away, if you look at the top, Walter's got the job. So Big Sam isn't in the job anymore, so he obviously got sacked at some point. Now, I've done this twice. This is the second time I've done it, and it's the second time Walter's got the job. So I think Big Sam lasted 228 days last time. This time he lasted 156 days, so it looks like he struggles. Wow, we didn't even get to January, so really didn't do well. Let's have a look at where they finished in the league at the end of the season. Here is the league table, and maybe Walter kept him in the league because they finished it 16th. I've seen him on my personal save get relegated. So it's mirroring really what's going on. A lot of us expected Everton to do well this year just because they spent money, but it's just not gone that well for him, and it's looking like it's the same in the game. So yeah, that's luckily they've stayed in the Premier League, because last time as well it was a similar thing. I think they finished 14th on the first time they did it. Big Sam, man. So here he is. His stats still look the same. He's out of work. He's not got a job since that. I thought he'd do better. I really did think he'd do better. He obviously couldn't sign any players. Let's have a quick look at how they did in the competitions. So FA Cup, he got knocked out by Middlesbrough straight away, 2-0. With the League Cup though, they did beat Newcastle, one of his old teams, 2-1 at home, but then they got beat by Chelsea, which you can't really complain with. It's Chelsea, but you can start to see, you know, bottom of the league, getting knocked out of the cups early. The writing was on the wall for him quite quickly. I did give him a decent contract because I thought that kind of security might make him stick with him for the full season, but it's not worked. When it comes to the Europa League, they qualified, did really well in the group, really well, didn't lose a game. Got into the first round knockout, and then they got knocked out in the second round, but obviously Big Sam would have got sacked before that, so he was doing well in Europe before he lost his job. Now obviously I put him under a transfer ban, and Big Sam didn't make it to the window, but Walter would have, and this is who he's bought, and he's bought some decent players there. He's bought Justin Kluivert, who apparently Jose Mourinho told him he wants him this next year or something. Bought a lad from PSV, some decent players, man. So he spent 50 million. We brought in and sold 21 million. Joe Robles, I think he's a backup keeper, he left. Aaron Lennon left. Besic left. That striker I was going on about, can't say his name, is it Niasse? He left as well, so maybe they'll do better now. Maybe Walter can get the team balance, but I don't think Sam had a fair crack at the whip. Let's do it one more time and see what happens. Right, here we are, third and final time. It's the 1st of July on this one, and Roberto Di Matteo was the manager. First 2 times I did it, Walter, what's his face? He was the manager. But yeah, Roberto Di Matteo, Champions League winner with Chelsea, won it. He's the manager. Let's see how long Big Sam lasted this time. So here we are, he lasted 278 days, that's the best, that. So he got to the transfer window, so any signings that were in January, he lasted quite a while there, didn't he? Fair play. But they just couldn't get to the end of the year. What, about a month away from the end of the season? That's mental. They're obviously still in the league. Let's have a look at the league, and then we'll have a look who he signed and the rest of the competitions. Right, so they were 15th by the end of the season. So I think Roberto's probably coming in the summer, because it said Unsworth took over. So I reckon Unsworth probably had it at the end of the year, and then Roberto Di Matteo's probably coming in the summer. But yeah, it's not great again, is it? Not really. Let's see who they signed. So you won't be able to see it because of my head, but they spent 63 million quid. That's a lot of money there. A lot of money spread out. And I think the last transfers we saw from Walter were a lot better. But yeah, decent. That's a lot of money, man. And he sold £39 million on. Maybe it balances itself out, but who did he sell for that much money? Murray's gone. Who's the big signing? Balassi went for 11.5, potentially bloody 30, I think that is. Wow, that's a lot of money, that, isn't it? Besic went again. Morales went, and Robles went again. So yeah, let's have a look at what he did in the cups. So FA Cup, he got knocked out straight away. Drew with Aston Villa, then got beat off Villa. He's not good against Championship teams, is he? League Cup, got beat by Chelsea. Bloody hell, always Chelsea. At home as well, this time 3-0. Here's the Europa League, got through all the qualifiers, got into Group H, and yeah, didn't do very well. Only won 2, lost 3, drew 1. That's a bit bad. Okay, there we go, that's the end of my little Big Sam at Everton experiment. Now, in real life, he might do a different job. It's what he's good at, coming in, saving a club. I just wanted to see if he was there at the start of the season, would he do a better job? And he struggled, but maybe it's the players he's got. It was hard work. He wasn't given enough time or money. You know, he did spend a bit. He wasn't given enough time, really, was it, to implement his style or at least be successful. So according to Football Manager, it would be a tough ask for anyone. Really, you should do an experiment where I put all the greatest managers at Everton, and can any of them do anything? That'd be a video, and I might do that actually. Pep Guardiola, Jose Mourinho, can any of them, without spending a penny, take that squad of players in the state it's in and not get sacked, basically? Do well. I think they'd all struggle, I'll be honest with you. But anyway, hopefully you enjoyed that. A little bit of fun, a bit of an experiment. If you did, smash that like button. If you're new to my channel, feel free to subscribe. Come and check out my series with Manchester Central FC, Manchester's third club. Hopefully you will. Hopefully you have a nice day. Take care, and I'll see you later.